Just let me know whenever you're ready. Yeah, just like last time, just whenever you're ready, just share your screen. Oh, sorry, I need to enable it. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, now I just enable it. All right, then, go ahead and start.
Is everyone able to hear me? How do I check the chat? Yusun, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear it.
Oh, okay. So for our project, we are going to be making a homemade goods platform with a focus on local businesses. So businesses that are made from their home. So people who make food, and for people who make like these like really small goods, like masks or bags, things like that. So my team is called Pentalam. It includes me, David, Juan, Howard, and Arturo. And so the problem that we're going to be solving is that many people are shopping at these large companies such as Amazon, Walmart, and Costco. And these smaller businesses are going out of business due to the pandemic. And there's no centralized platform to advertise these homemade goods. What we found out was that many of these smaller home businesses, they were advertising on places like Facebook Marketplace, on Instagram, on Craigslist. And there's no one platform where they're able to advertise these goods. So here are a few interviews. The first one is done by Howard. Also, we're basically asking them about what they think about our idea and if they would use it or how they would use it.
Oh, then we can't hear that.
Oh, I apologize. I think I gotta stop sharing. And then,
Stop sharing, reshare.
yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a really great idea that you have here. I think it'll really allow communities to really centralize all that they have to offer and also be environmentally friendly as well. Instead of shipping something from Amazon, from a warehouse, who knows where, I can instead take a small walk to a local business or have an item delivered to me really quickly and fairly at probably a cheaper price as well.
All right. And the second interview is done by Juan.
I DoorDash food to my house a lot, and if there's somebody who makes food at like a cheaper price, then that would be really great for me because I don't like leaving the house for food. I could just have it within minutes, honestly, for a really cheap price too. I think the only issue is the legal aspect, but other than that, I think it'll be pretty useful. I would definitely use it.
All right. So those were the interviews. So our solution was to create this homemade goods platform. I think we thought of this idea based with a focus on food at first, but we're planning to, if there's time, expand to these other goods. So yeah, we want to create a platform that provides information on local homemade sellers. So we're going to provide the name, the contact information, websites if they have it. And we're going to essentially create a map of registered sellers near the user. So they're able to kind of look through the different type of sellers, see what they're selling, and they're able to contact them and maybe buy something. And if that goes well, then we'll want to integrate some kind of local delivery service similar to Uber, Postmates, and other other apps that use a local delivery service. And our goal is to promote local shopping, to create new businesses, and to keep businesses running. And that concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
There's a question from Maya in the chat.
Oh yeah, we actually discussed this, like the seller's license. I know that there are like safety rules and stuff like that. We haven't really thought through like the legal aspect of that. But I'm not sure because like people are still advertising on these. Yeah, I get you. People are still advertising on like Instagram, like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, but you know they're not selling with a license. And I think it's gonna be kind of like on faith based on reviews, stuff like that. But we haven't really thought too far from that. Food handlers.
Lam, if I could answer the second question, or if we have time.
Yeah, sure.
So Nicholas said, did you come across Etsy as a researcher your centralized platform? We did look at Etsy, but what we like to do is we're centralizing on a per zip code basis so that you have the option of having something delivered to you within possibly that same day, or you could possibly meet up with the individual and pick it up. So on that zip code basis within the map, it's extremely local. And Etsy seems to have one aspect of what we're pursuing in terms of crafts and all that sort of stuff, but we're also doing food, such as people that cater from their home, as far as to services, as people that would genuinely drive to your home and wash your and detail your vehicle. Because I know that's quite honestly gaining a little bit more popularity now that people feel indifferent about car washes during the pandemic. But I mean, it's not just exclusive to that. There's tons of services, goods, and food that a lot of these communities, I could say, would offer.
Are there any other questions?
How did you guys come up with this idea? Do you know any of the local home food sellers or?
Yeah, so
I could
yeah.
talk about that. Yeah. Me personally, I've actually found a bunch of local places on Instagram,
Mhm.
and they just like, and I've been like checking them out. So now like my Instagram ads are just full of like local businesses, and there's actually like some really close by my house. Like there's one like 2 minutes away that sells like homemade candy, and it's just like really interesting how these places don't really show up unless you're looking for them, and you have to basically trick the Instagram algorithm to even get there, you know? And that's why we came up with this solution for that.
Cool.
If I could speak more to that, yeah, similar to what Juan said, Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, I feel like it's really popular in, I guess, I'd say more like a lively, like nearby city neighborhoods, because a lot of these people are in, you know, they're living through this pandemic and they'd like to start their own business. And typically a lot more, it's a lot more common to see this, I'd say, like in these neighborhoods not too far from the city, considering the market is like just as large. There's tons of people that sell food on the go, street vendors, but it goes further in that, such as people starting their businesses for offering services. I mean, as we mentioned before, car detailing, we've been seeing like a rapid growth in people deciding to car detail on the go rather than, you know, going to a car wash and waiting in a line. More or less the idea of people coming to you during this pandemic or meeting up locally rather than going to a large supermarket. So it's been really changing through, and lots of Instagram pages and Facebook Marketplace pages seem to like demonstrate this. But rather than services, they would sell goods and stuff. We would also like, you know, centralize services and caterers of such. I think one I saw the other day was strawberry pastries. I knew this person from my high school, and now they're making thousands of dollars just selling strawberries within a box, looking nice with the wine. There's tons of other ones. I saw a picnic service where they set up picnics for you in random public places. So yeah, it's pretty interesting when you trick the Instagram algorithm to do that, as Juan mentioned.
Very
Are there any other questions or? All right. If not, then I'll stop sharing.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good morning, everyone.
All right.
We're going to be doing, our team's working on a game search web service, and our team name are the Garden Snakes. So our team members are David, Antonio, Joseph, Dante, and Yuquin. So let's start off with the problem.
Okay, so our problem basically revolves around video games. It's obviously a popular hobby, especially for CS majors like us. But we kind of divided the problem into two separate issues. The first is an economic issue. So if I really want to buy a video game, where the best place to buy it is at, whether I'm getting the best deal on the video game, and kind of when the best time to buy the game is. So if it's depreciating a lot in value real quickly, then maybe you can hold off a month or two and then, wait to buy the game. And then the second issue is kind of more concerns ethics. So, whether the launcher that you're buying the game from can be trusted, and it's not ripping sellers off with a high commission or anything like that. So that's pretty much our problem.
So let's move on to our interview. So I interviewed two people, my friend Sonia and my friend Brian. So let me see if I can. You guys can't hear the sound. Please let me know.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to stop sharing and then share with audio.
Okay. As a gamer, what are some of issues that you face while gaming?
It's kind of hard remembering which game is on which platform. So some games will be on Steam, some will be Xbox or Nintendo, on Switch or something. So it's remembering, okay, I want to play something, but where did I put it again, or where am I supposed to find it?
Would it be ideal just to have a platform that'll tell you that holds or that even tells you oh, this game is at this platform, or just one platform to have everything? Yeah. And then what else is important?
Maybe personally, it'd be cool to see how much I'd be spending on games in general. So maybe it's a monthly thing, just saying hey, check it out, you spent this much on games, and it's in total of all the platforms. But it would be cool to see how much the devs get, or seeing that divide.
Oh, seeing that. Okay, cool. Alrighty, thank you so much.
So as a PC gamer, what are some common problems that you face with games in general when you're trying to do you have any problems finding games, buying games, price wise? Are you satisfied with the prices you get on different platforms?
One of my main issues is I like playing games that come from EA, but I really hate Origin. I hate it just with this burning passion. I hate it so bad. So I like Steam just because everything's together and everything is kind of cohesive. Everything works together, right? All of your friend settings and things like that. All of the buying options are really easy, the manager works really well, and it tells you when there's sales. So if I have a game that I'm looking to buy and I just watch it for a while, it'll email me when it's a sale, right? When there's a sale going on, so I can buy that. I can pick it up at a cheaper price. Just buying options and being able to view all the games in one place, that would be the best thing.
So to tackle all of this, a few features we have planned are a search function that will crawl the web to find specific information regarding a game. So for example, it'll display the prices, both historical and current, for the game at different retailers. It'll also display the supported game launchers and platforms, much like how when you search a movie on Google and you're given a list of places you can watch it on. And for the ethical gamer, we plan to show how much commission each retailer demands from their sale. That way, if you care for it, you can see how much money retailers would take from the creators. We also plan to be able to make predictive assumptions about when would be the best time to purchase the game. This way, it would be based off of previous prices that the game sold for. And finally, we plan to have a way to display all the information gathered and generated into a simplified graphical interface. So if the user desires, they'll be able to export this information into a PDF document for their own records. And that's our pitch. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
All right, very cool. So what will be the major difference between this platform and the regular platform?
I think it's just putting all the information in kind of just one easy graphical interface that people can look at, instead of these various like different platforms that you'd have to go through just to find out about your games.
And what about the data? Where are we going to get the data initially?
I've been thinking about, there's various websites that already have a lot of this information collected, but I thought if we don't get it from the source, our data might be late. It might not be currently accurate.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, so let's take a look at the next thing, coding with COVID.
So our team name is Coding with COVID, and our members are Duck, myself, Josh, Ryan, and Sam. So the problem we came up with is that students are unsure of what events are taking place on campus and when they start. And we're specifically trying to deal with club events primarily. And we'll show you some interviews first that Ryan did for us.
Right. So how do you usually find out about school events or club meetings?
Mostly from friends, just recommendation of like clubs that related to my major and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And for those club meetings, do you know like where to find more information about them?
I would go to like my department or like consular offices and stuff like that. They usually have like a billboard of all the events and clubs.
Do you have any problems or maybe like inconveniences about that? Finding all that information?
Maybe during the club fair. Sometimes there's like too many of them and they're like crowded, and unrelated clubs, they just stay together and like you get confused and stuff like that.
Do you think having like maybe a centralized place would help with that?
Yeah, for sure, we will.
So how do you usually find out about school events and club meetings?
Usually through the club fair, and if I'm really interested, I would just go online and search for the club and find their info, contact them there.
And for the events and meetings you're interested in, do you know where to find info on it? Like location of where to meet?
As long as I get the email, yes. But if I'm other than that, just emails.
So what kinds of problems do you face related to like finding school events or club meetings?
There's some clubs I'm only interested in, but there's still a lot more that I would like to know more about. And the issue is I just don't know where to find information for those clubs.
So to help with that issue, would having maybe like a centralized place where you can look up all that information help at all?
Of course. Be really convenient.
So our solution we came up with is a school calendar that displays club events and meetings with the option to register and remove. So we want maybe clubs to register and post their own events. And we also want people to register and so they can filter out club options, maybe by major, by specific clubs. And we want to pull all this information hopefully from MyBar, which is good. It displays club information, but you can't really filter stuff out to the way you want it personally. So we want this place that clubs can post so people can discover clubs depending on their needs. And we want to include relevant information such as location, topic, and the time. And yeah, that's what we came up with so far. Does anyone have questions?
Very cool. So do we have anything on campus? You mentioned this in my bar. I remember I seen that. That one has this kind of information.
It does. It displays like a bunch of events just in a list without really options to filter out.
Mm-hmm.
And it also doesn't have everything, like all events that on campus or all clubs. So yeah, we want a place that clubs can post themselves.
Mm. Right. All right, looks good. And all right, so let's see the next team.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And all right, so let me start. I believe all my groups in here. Present. All right, so our team is Team Sun, and we want to do a note sharing app. We have Andrew, Jonathan, me, Jason, and Nishara in the group. So the problems that we've been seeing is since we are in the pandemics and everything is through the online format, so it's difficult for students to share their notes. So before, when you are in class, you can just hop over to the person that sits next to you and ask for notes or pictures, but it's harder today. You have to take a picture and scan it up. So, or sometimes you have a poor internet connections and then you lost some information during the lectures, and then also currently we don't have any easily usable database for notes. So that's why our team came up with a solution that we want to make a note sharing web service where the user can upload and search for the class notes. The next one would be the interview. Oops, okay, here you go.
For the first, for the first interview, I interviewed Evan, who is a student here. So we can just play that.
Can you guys hear it?
No.
Uh-oh. Same thing. So I have to stop sharing and reshare again.
Yeah, share with audio.
Okay. Can you guys hear it?
Have I ever used a note sharing app before? No, I have not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, it should just be a a repo of notes that I could easily look up. Really, I just expect people to go on, easily search up my class and find the notes that I want to look at by name. One thing that would stop me from using an app like that would be making it any kind of difficult to find the notes I want to look at. The moment it becomes even remotely annoying to find the notes I need is the moment I stop using it. Yeah, it would be helpful to look at more notes because it would just be a good study aid. But I also have a hard time paying attention a lot of the time, so I always miss things in my notes. So it's always good to see other people's notes to see what I missed.
Okay, this is another one.
Yeah, I think it's pretty helpful because like if you're missing one material and the other classmates might have it or might write it down, it would be helpful. I believe not. It's just like if the file sharing I might have used, but the note sharing I don't think I have. Easy to upload the information, flexible in looking for the class or the groups that we are in. And the last thing I think is the how we can download the node conveniently.
So that is the interviews. And
hi, my name is Jonathan. So the basic features of our app would have uploading nodes, which allows the user to upload in nodes. That's like our main feature, right? And then the second one would be searching for nodes. You know, it would be something like, like similar to Google search function, so that user can enter whatever they want, they're trying to find. And then the third one would be to allow user to generate a tab for their course, so that they can just make whatever name of the notes that they just uploaded on the website, and then they just make a name for the course. And the fourth one would be categorizing by major and class. So it's just something like because like since we expect there will be a lot of users from CPB, so that we need to distinguish the classes and majors, so that the website will be more like organized. And then the last one, we trying to narrow the users to CPP first before we actually expand it to other schools. That way, it'll be easier for us to implement. If we have time, then we'll just extend it to on a larger scale. So those basically were our basic features for the app.
All right. Hey, I'm Andrew, and this is the stretch goals that we're going for. So can everybody hear me real quick? I don't see that. Okay.
yes.
So stretch goals, this is what we'll do once we have the basic features down and what we'll look into. So possibly user ratings to highlight specifically good notes, and then comments on those notes, maybe to provide feedback to the note takers. We can look into an option for individuals to donate to note takers and not requiring specifically payment, but just donations, which we'll have to look into the legality of that more. And then optionally, we can look at cooperating with professors to upload their slides. And those are the stretch goals.
Any questions?
Yeah, well, very well designed. So it's kind of a note-taking thing. There are a lot of things going on. But my suggestion is all just like you guys mentioned. I think just focus on this really core feature or differentiator, and also focus something that's specifically to your usage, like for college or for CS or for programming. Just start from the specific one. So that's how you can differentiate yourself, and then you can expand it to more general. Also, when you narrow it down to work on something very specific, it's also very feasible. You don't feel overwhelming and too much to do. All right, cool. All right, so let's take a look at the next one, recycling.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So our team name is Super Cool 4800 Group. And if my whole team is here, maybe we could go down the line and introduce ourselves, starting with Sarah. Okay, I'll just go ahead and do it then. We have Sarah, me, Justin, Tyler, Thomas, and Jian Chang. Our problem has to do with recycling, and when it comes to recycling, you have to know how to recycle each individual thing because there's many different procedures going on, and not everybody knows how to recycle every different thing. And then when you do know something needs to be recycled, sometimes you have to take it somewhere, and there could be like many different places you end up having to go to recycle a bunch of different things. And so it could be a hassle to do all this background research just to get rid of some junk. So some people may not even bother in the first place. Our solution is an app that involves showing the user how to recycle any object they may inquire about, and also the location of recycling centers if that's relevant to the app, to the item they're recycling. It will also tell you if it even needs to be recycled. And we're planning on using the Google Maps API for the location part of the app. And then here is our interview.
Do you already recycle? And if you do, what do you recycle?
Yeah, I recycle pretty often. Normally it's like soda cans or like random packages I receive, but most of the time it's like paper or soda cans or plastic bottles.
I don't really recycle, but when I do recycle, I recycle plastic bottles and paper.
Okay. Do you know how to properly recycle large and hazardous materials?
I would say yeah, sort of. Normally, like I separate like dead batteries or old electronics. There's a recycling plant near my house where I drop off things like that, so it's pretty easy.
Okay. And then how would the website be useful for you?
It would be useful for me and also the community to know where the appropriate places to recycle these types of waste instead of just putting them in regular trash cans on the street.
Okay, cool.
I think it would be useful because it would help me learn more about climate change and recycling certain items.
Cool.
So after we implement our solution, we have several other ways we could take it. And one of those is having a report feature for local recycling bins, because maybe, I don't know, you got a drink at like a gas station and you just started walking with it, but now you don't know where a recycling bin is. So that in the app, you may be able to look up where the nearest recycling bin is, maybe outside a store or something. And then another path we could take it is composting. So stuff like grass clippings aren't necessarily recyclable, but you can compost them. So if maybe you don't have a compost at your own home, but someone near you does, so you'd be able to take all your biodegradable stuff there. And that's it. Any questions?
Very good. And I've seen this one a couple of times before. And again, my main question is why do you guys carry this one so much? How did you come up with this idea?
The main motivation behind it is the hassle of like recycling like super specific stuff, like, or like maybe not necessarily recycling, but getting rid of like cooking oil. You have to take it usually to like somewhere, and like you have to know where that place is, and then maybe along the way you want to get rid of your electronics because you have this pile of garbage that keeps building up that you know you have to go somewhere to get rid of it. So hopefully the web service would make it a much more streamlined process, so you know exactly what you need to do with what.
Yep, definitely agree. Yeah, so something really simple to use and look for, and make it really convenient. That's why I think there's some kind of app that kind of does this one with the image-based recognition. That's also another approach. All right. Very cool. Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks, guys. All right. Well, I want to go next. I think we got 1, 2, 3 more teams.
All right, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're not sure what our website name is going to be yet, but so far we have Drunkies. Our team name is 5Gs. And I'm Max. Our team name consists of, our team consists of Oscar, Paul, Javier, and Kevin. So the main problem we came up with when like starting this class and like asking people questions and like stuff like that was like going out with friends and trying to decide like what to drink or where to go drink at, or like like what's open at this time, what's open late until like 1, 2 in the morning on Thursday nights or stuff like that. So like we always had trouble like just searching for new places or finding places to discover, even if we're just like in the next city over, like we're visiting friends in a different college and we don't know what's around us. It was always just a hassle finding places to go out and socialize. So here are 2 of our videos.
Yeah, probably share it. It's
okay.
All there low.
One of the biggest problems I have with websites is that they don't provide all the places in the area that sell alcohol. I always see the same places such as Applebee's, Chili's, Red Robin, and another thing is that they don't provide a beer menu. So having a website that has all the bars in the area with menus would be a great thing, as it'll help me make a better choice for better prices and in the area.
And here's our second video. This is Juan.
Look, straight up, I love to drink, and I already got this here. But point is, that's not my biggest problem. My biggest problem is not drinking. My biggest problem is having to find somewhere to drink with my friends. We can never find anywhere to link up. We talked about going to Boston's. We were at Boston's last weekend, the weekend before that, and probably even like 3 weekends ago. But anyway, I'm just tired of this. I'm fed up, and we need to find somewhere quick. Like, come on.
So what we chose, like the people who would benefit mostly from our app, it could be a wide range of people. Like obviously it's only people 21 and up since we're talking about alcoholic drinks and like beverages and stuff. But it doesn't only mean people from 21 to like the cutoff age that people stop having fun, say like 30 or 35. Like this could extend to senior citizens. It could extend to people traveling, like visiting new cities, families going to new towns to discover stuff. So yeah, like a lot of people could benefit from this web service. And like this is how it will change social drinking. It would basically like create local hotspots. So like if you ever get tired of going to the same like Applebee's or Chili's in your town, you could try to find some of those hole in the walls like you and your friends could go check out. Or if you're in a new city like traveling or something, you could use it to find somewhere to go out for the night, like some last minute plans or something. So yeah, that's basically our whole web service.
All right.
Are there any questions?
Very cool. Are there any existing site that does something like this?
So we did like I did do some research trying to find sites that just showed a bunch of like what alcohol is sold or like a drink menu. But I would always get taken to sites like Yelp or like Uber Eats or stuff like that already shows existing restaurants. And that's kind of what we don't want to go to. Like we don't want people to look up somewhere to drink and then Applebee's comes up. We want like all the bars or like sports bars and like stuff that have beers on draft to come up.
Right.
Yeah, can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like some people would say like, oh yeah, we already have Yelp for that or something like that. But if you actually go on Yelp and a lot of like the businesses that are already like sort of set up, like a bunch of the reviews are like people who they hire and they're like fake reviews, and it's not necessarily like the raw information that we want to know or like the exact type of reviews that we want to like hear from and stuff.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Very cool. Yeah, I bet this one will have a lot of users. All right. Good job. Let's see the next one. Oh, do we have actually one more? No, I think we are done. Let me double check. All right, so are there any other team that hasn't presented yet? Okay, so let me see my list here. Okay, so yeah, some of you actually submitted duplicated. And so just to clarify, so David, Antonio, you guys presented, right? Today, is that correct? I think I saw your. So David Davila, did you guys present today?
Yeah, I presented. We did the video game one.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. So I think you had a. Oh wait, sorry. Not David. Sorry, my bad. I just saw one. Tommy, Aaron, Paul, did you guys present? We got a team of CNRTT. So Tom, Yuna, Tommy, Aaron, Paul, did you guys present? Let me see. I don't think you presented, right? All right. Oh, okay. All right. You guys just shared. Okay, so go ahead.
Hi everyone. Our team is idea is to do installer for CS majors, especially new students to the field. Currently, there are many apps out there that it's difficult to maintain them all, and it can be difficult to install those apps on a new device, and there are no easy solution to install all of your programs across multiple platforms. Especially for CS majors, there are a lot of tools that are used for coding, and for first-time students, it can be really confusing which tools they need to install and understanding why they need to install it. Also, during the pandemic, students who can't access to school's computer that have pre-installed tools on the computer can have a hard time. So here are some interview.
Hello, Tom. I'm doing a voice interview for my software engineering job. What was the biggest challenge you faced when you first started out as a computer science major? Oh, good question. So I remember when I first started taking my computer science class, I didn't understand the concepts of coding. So like what code would look like and what it means to be a programmer. I was taught in Java, and I had a problem getting the setup right because I didn't understand. I didn't understand that I needed a compiler and an IDE. Help now the freshmen coming in, knowing the fact that most of them don't even know what an IDE is. Couple of things to expand on. One is that since most of your classes start with Java, your web service is only going to offer solutions for Java. So instead of just catering to freshman students, you can expand it to everybody. So come second year, if anybody wants to take a C++ class, so they can go back to your web service, look up C++, and then that will suggest IDE suitable for C++. And the second thing is, for Java, for example, there are mainly two IDEs that people use, NetBeans and Eclipse. So now how would you decide which one the user should use, the student should use? So what you can do is you can let the student himself decide. So for example, you can have side-by-side comparison of doing the same thing, creating a new project or adding a new item. So you have the side-by-side and the user can look through it, so whichever one he feels comfortable with, you can pick it. Or if you really want to go the extra mile, you can add some instructions for every language on how to do a compile and a run without using an IDE. You write your code in a text file and call the compiler on the command line and build and run. So, just a little extra information can always help newcomers. So, yeah, other than that, it's a great idea. Definitely will help the students.
For the solution, a software that allows new CS major students to install the tools and apps they need. And it will recommend which softwares and what version is the best for the students and the device. And for what purpose, like which softwares they need to use or something. categorized based on different programming languages. And it will also have a feature that allows the user can create their profile for their own customized list of apps and what softwares they need to install in the future. Is there any question?
Yeah, I really like the idea. I think definitely very practical, especially for the freshman, and also if you can recommend things used specifically for certain courses or for certain instructors. Give recommendations or people can share their good experiences. That's, I think, definitely very useful. This one definitely very useful when it goes to certain specific development. For example, when you're doing web development and there are quite a lot of choices. Some people just use the Notepad tab editor. Some people use IntelliJ. And also when they go to AI, for example, there may be more stuff you can do. So kind of a list of recommendation in terms of software and library definitely helps, especially for CS majors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there questions or comments? All right, well, very cool. All right, so we got 19 teams, okay? And then, so all great ideas and problems. So I can see that you guys are all related with those kind of experience. So the only thing to do next is try to actually start work on that. Now, the project itself might have a big scope. You might solve a lot of the details, but to make sure you can deliver something at the end, always think about what is a core feature you want to implement. And the only way to determine whether it's a core feature or not is to see if that feature helps solving the problem. So the best example is, for example, a lot of the services you might want to build a login sign up. I actually saw a lot of the teams used to spend a lot of time on just that login sign up page and feature. That's actually not the right way to go. If you can get rid of that login and sign up and then start working on the core content API, the page, the UI, that's probably a better way, because eventually solving the problem is not depend on the login or sign up. So that's just I'll give you some advice on how do you prioritize your features. If the feature solve the problem you proposed, that is a core feature, you do it first. Otherwise, do it later. Right. Of course, if something really depends on the account and everything, you have to do that, but just don't spend too much time on that. Yeah, I do see a lot of the team spend maybe 8 or 10 weeks to finish a login and sign up feature a page, and they even have very secure encryption for the password and everything, which is nice, but doesn't really solve the problem. All right. Yes, so for the timeline, the most important thing to remember is I think you need to finish that by week 12 or 13, because I think our demo will be week 13 or 14, around that period of time. But in the middle, we also have specific milestones. For example, when you need to deploy your first version, and when do you need to finish all the testing, a lot of those. That will be based on some of the topic we gave you. So we'll give you some specific assignment for you to finish. Those will be our milestones, right? But we can't really put milestones in terms of features. I can't say, oh, you finish 2 features in next week or 3 features. That doesn't make much sense. So the milestones are mostly about software engineering approaches and methods, the things you need to do for your project, but it doesn't measure your actual progress, okay? But for the progress, I just tell you, probably by the end of week 12, things should be done. All right, so about 10 or less, a little bit less than 10 weeks. All right, any other questions? Good job. And but okay, so now the team knows what to do. Hopefully you already assigned the roles, backend, front-end, database, all of this to specific members. And a very important thing is you need to have some kind of a periodic meetings, okay? At least once a week, probably you need more than that, and to keep everyone updated. Otherwise, it's very easy to have certain member totally drop and lost, okay? So make sure everyone is making a contribution. And this is very important, as I mentioned, even though it's a team project, at the end, we do look at your contribution. We do look at your contribution from two different ways. We look at how much code you actually put into your project. We also look at your reviews from your peer members. So we'll give a survey at the end. All right, so it's definitely kind of a project that everyone need to contribute. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I will see you next week. All right, so I will still stay here for another half hour. If you have questions, let me know.